Meet City Councilman Kenny Hardin. Hardin's one of the big shots down in a city called Salisbury, which is outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Kenny's got a problem. Black crime, he doesn't call it that. Black crime in his town is wildly out of control. Lots of shootings, lots of murders, lots of home invasions, lots of robberies. You know the drill. Kenny Hardin can't figure out what to do. So he's asking for outside help. Do you suppose we could give him a few suggestions? Let's run through a few videos here first just to see what we're talking about, not just of Salisbury, but places near Salisbury and that part of the world.
Justin bond denied for a 17-year-old involved in the brutal attack and armed robbery of a Rock Hill mother. Jeremichael Davis is facing several charges tonight. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. NBC Charlotte's Billie Jean Shaw was in the courtroom today and joins us with more details.
Sarah, today in the hearing, there was no lawyer or family members present on behalf of the 17-year-old. It was something that visibly shocked the judge. However, the victim in this case sitting through the entire hearing, reliving the moments she almost died. While neighbors on Winthrop Drive were sleeping early Thursday morning, police say Jermichael Davis, Zion Crosby, and another wanted teen were breaking into their cars. But when they got to this house, the homeowner was awake.
She saw a light on that usually wasn't on. When she went to check it out, she was confronted by several young men. I think she resisted a little bit, and then one of them beat her with a pistol.
These photos revealing the scary details of what the 46-year-old mother endured as she was attacked, her shirt drenched in blood from being beaten.
The offender took the gun and beat her in the head a couple times, and it's a wonder she didn't get knocked out.
One of the suspects, Jermichael Davis, appearing in court today. He's facing 10 charges, including criminal conspiracy and first-degree burglary.
Your bond is denied. So your bond's denied on that charge, it's denied on all the charges.
The 17-year-old now facing life in prison. Meanwhile, the search continues for two suspects, one of them identified as Zion Crosby. Police believe he was the one who beat the victim.
It's pretty brazen what these young men did, and we hope to get Mr. Crosby soon.
Now to breaking news. We now know the name of the man accused of stabbing a Little Caesars Pizza manager in the neck. Hakeem Ratcliffe is charged with assault with a deadly weapon. It happened around 1:30 on Eastway Drive. Employees told us the man walked in and started arguing with the manager before stabbing him in the neck, back, and arm. The manager was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries.
Developing right now, 2 people are dead and 3 others have been shot. This all stemming from an argument outside the Go Burrito off of West Fisher Street in Salisbury. Daquan Robinson and Anthony Gill have been identified as the 2 people that were killed. Salisbury PD is saying they're in the very early stages of this investigation. NBC Charlotte's Evan West is live in Rowan County with the very latest. Evan, how's the community reacting?
Well, I just spoke to a man who was shocked that this shooting happened some 20 yards away from Main Street. Not something that happens a lot in downtown Salisbury. Now, police say that the incident occurred around 2:15 this morning. Upon arrival, they found 22-year-old Daquan Robinson dead. Later in the morning, 22-year-old Anthony Gill dying at Rowan Medical Center. Rasheem Davis and Kayla McCullers were also treated for gunshot wounds. Police say the shooting stemmed from an argument. Salisbury City Councilman Kenny Hardin says he knows the family, and this shooting stems from gang-related activity. He also says the town needs to change its crime strategy after its 18th unsolved homicide of the year. He also says the best way to do that is to bring in some, quote, outside experts.
We have to acknowledge we have a gang problem. We have a drug problem. We have a crime issue. It's beautiful to have art, but you have to understand what's going on underneath and address it. And I think we're in denial as a city about how bad our crime problem is.
Well, after doing months and months and months of research on Salisbury, North Carolina, I think I've made a few discoveries. Well, Councilman Hardin, there appears to be at least one person, maybe more people in Salisbury, Maryland, who are going around telling black people they are relentless victims of relentless white violence and racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything. especially why cops are always arresting black people for no reason whatsoever. Now, this has given a lot of black people in Salisbury, Maryland, and in Charlotte too, we saw that last summer, the impression that they are not responsible for their own actions. It's not their fault whatever they do. They feel like they all have a get out of jail free card for whatever they feel like doing. Whether they pull a gun out at a little restaurant, or whether they bust into somebody's home during a home invasion and beat the hell out of the woman, it's all like, what, me? I didn't do it. And here's my second startling discovery down in Salisbury, Maryland. I think I even figured out the guy who's doing it. Yes, it's you, Councilman Hardin. You're the one that every time there's a Black Lives Matter rally, you're the one showing up, reminding everybody that, oh yeah, white people really suck and black people really have it difficult. And that's why this is all happening. That's why police are getting shot. It's because of white racism. And when we see some of the fellas breaking into cars, breaking into homes, shooting each other, we know the reason behind that too. There's no jobs. There's no job training programs. There's no nothing. I mean, kids don't have anything to do. There's no midnight basketball. There's no nothing. So what other choices do the kids have besides breaking into a car, besides shooting each other, because everybody knows that? See, that's one of the problems of being a member of a protected class. Oh yeah, that's what they call black people in most large cities when you apply for a job. You are a member of a protected class. So you get special things. Anyway, one of the problems about being a member of a protected class is you don't get challenged. So you say dumb things all the time, and you think nobody's ever reflecting back on you that they're dumb, because you're a protected class, and to let you know how idiotic the things are that you say and believe in, well, that would violate the rules of dealing with a protected class. Well, that's what we have here with Councilman Hardin. I've dealt with lots and lots of city councilmen all over the country, big ones, small ones. There's some really good ones out there, guys who just show up, girls who show up with their little suitcase, go to the council meeting, make sure the cops get paid, the mayor gets paid, trash gets picked up, streets get swept, swimming pools are open, and they go home. Nobody makes a big deal about it, no drama. But with councilmen, but if you're lucky, that's the majority on your city council. But if you don't have that on your council, you know it, because there's always drama at the council. There's always somebody coming in and go, oh yeah, the black kids are rioting now, but that's because of we didn't do enough. It's the white people's fault for not giving us jobs. On this channel, we talk about solutions, right? Or people always want to talk about solutions. Well, the reason I don't talk about solutions is I've met too many people who are in charge of the solutions, the complicated solutions. Councilman Kenny Hardin is basically average. That means you probably wouldn't want to hire him to run the second shift at McDonald's. It would be chaos. Everybody would be waiting for their food for 30 minutes. They'd be blaming the customers, blaming each other. Everybody'd be fighting, nothing but chaos. So all you guys that have all this faith in all these complicated solutions with this, with that, the kids and the midnight basketball and the incentives and the jobs, and put it all together, and Colin, we won't even need you anymore. I just don't think any of you know what you're talking about, because you've never had any dealings with a person like Kenny Hardin, who on one hand goes around telling everybody crime is a new black entitlement because black people are not responsible for their own behavior because they are a member of a protected class. And then a year later, it comes in and goes, man, what the hell do we have on our hands with all this crime? So Councilman Hardin, the bad news is you are a hoax, a fraud, a trickster, somebody who doesn't have the slightest idea what you are talking about. You're the doctor who makes people sick. You're the fireman who starts fires. You're the plumber who creates floods. Get my drift, Kenny? You want a solution for your little town from an outside expert, Kenny? Guess what? The people on this channel and I are going to be as good as you get anywhere. Because we're not going to sit here and tell you that everything that you've done is a good thing and just got to keep doing it. No, we're not going to give you the warmed over things that have already been tried a million other times and have failed a million other times, every single time. We're going to tell you what's up. We're going to tell you that black crime in your neighborhood is out of control because you are enabling it. You are the one in denial, deceit, and delusion about it. You are a danger to yourself and to other people in your town by your actions. You know, of all the Kenny Hardens in this country, they're always playing the same role. Their town is like going off of a cliff because of black criminality, and they're playing the long-suffering public servant. They're walking around town with a long face on, wondering about, what are we going to do about these kids, because there's no, the federal government won't give us enough money for jobs. The state doesn't give enough money for midnight basketball. His colleagues don't want to listen to him. And he's telling them, he warned them, if you don't do that, there's going to be out of control crime in this town. There's your outside expert advice, Councilman Harden. I don't think you have the guts, the brains, or the stones, or the heart to take it. Because all you care about is not making the black kids angry.